is a Bramble Jam podcast.
Welcome to Girls Gone Hallmark, usually a Hallmark movie podcast. Today, we are not reviewing a movie. Today, we are doing a deep dive into the Hallmark Channel inaugural Christmas cruise. I'm Megan.
I'm a long-time Hallmark movie fan.
I know the line, I just didn't know that it applied. I'm Megan, and I'm a longtime Hallmark fan.
Know your brand, baby. I'm Wendy. I'm a former Hallmark hater.
We are recording live aboard the Norwegian Gem. We are disembarking in about 9 hours. It is the end of the Hallmark cruise, and we wanted to record all of ours. Wendy just fist pumped. We'll get into it while they're still fresh.
Yes, I didn't want to go home and be like,
I gotta go back into cruise brain.
I didn't want it to be like, you know, after you give birth and then you're like, it was all wonderful. I had a good time.
We need to rewind. I do think, if you followed us on Instagram, you know this, but I think we need to start at the beginning.
Let's start at the beginning.
And that is travel day.
Travel day from hell. Thank you very much.
So the day before we left, we go to check in for our flights, and there's a travel alert for weather. And we were like, well, that's what we can do. We'll just see how it plays out.
We're like, let's just wing it. We'll just get to the airport and
No big deal, man.
Figure it out from there. It's okay. It's all going to work out. It didn't work out,
It
guys.
did not work out. Then the morning of, as we're about to leave for the airport, we get a notice that our flight is delayed by 3 hours, which means we're absolutely going to miss our connection. So next time, I'm like, let's go to the airport. We'll figure it out there. On the way to the airport, my flight gets fully rebooked. I am now connecting in Austin. I have a later flight, landing later at night. Fine. Wendy does not get rebooked for her first leg, but her connection just gets bumped to a later connecting flight. So she's still flying into Dallas, which was having some weather.
Yeah, I don't know. It was like thunderstorms or something. I don't know.
So they were on a ground stop for several hours that morning, and that just started a domino effect of like flights were delayed coming into Dallas, flights were delayed going out of Dallas, planes were not where they needed to be. I get to Austin. My travel day was not like great, but that was nothing compared to Wendy's travel day.
No, so I get off in Dallas and I'm going to have a little bit of a layover, a couple hours at this point, I think. It wasn't something terrible. And I was like, no big deal. I'm going to go grab something to eat. And then I just kept getting alerts that my flight was leaving later and later and later. At one point, it was like 10:30. Mind you, I landed in Dallas about 5:15 p.m. And my next leg was supposed to leave sometime around 7:30.
Initially.
And then it just kept getting later. It was like 10:15, 11:15, 12:15, 1:15. And then finally, I don't know, it might have been between 1:30 and 2 a.m. They said, okay, your flight is going to now be rebooked until noon tomorrow.
And in the middle of this, at one point, they're like, we're getting you guys a new plane. We're getting you guys a new flight crew. Like, there was hope. There was excitement. We were like, this is happening tonight.
Yeah, it was happening. Like,
Pilots showed up.
They got on the plane. Now they're like, we're waiting for our 3 flight attendants. They're coming in from somewhere else. Then they don't show up. One comes in, a second one comes in, and now they're like, well, now we're waiting for the third. We don't know where the third is. We don't know if the third went home. We're waiting. We're still waiting. Finally, a third shows up, and the third is not in their system, apparently. I didn't tell you this part. The third was not in there, like, nobody knew who he was, apparently. They're like, we can't let you on the plane. So he was, like, sitting around there. And then all of a sudden, they're like, now we're waiting for the first officer. We don't know where the first officer went. We're trying to call the first officer. Everybody's on the phone with sir. And then, like, 10 minutes later, they're like, okay, sorry, we've been rebooked. And the crowd went wild.
In a bad way. And that rebooking would not have gotten Wendy here on time.
I would not have been here on time. No.
No, you need to know it from my perspective. This is now 2 a.m. and I'm in our hotel room. Just
in Miami.
In Miami. I have gotten to Miami. And I'm like, it's not going to end well. And when you called me at like 1:45 a.m. and you were like, they canceled the flight, it leaves at 12 tomorrow. You're like, I'm just gonna go to a hotel. And I was like, wait.
Yeah, I was like, I'm out. I'm leaving this airport.
And I'm like rapidly looking at flights. And I find a 5:45 a.m. flight on Spirit. And part of me is like, I know she's so done. And I know she would sooner walk to Miami than fly on Spirit Airlines.
I did at one point look up how long does it take to drive. I wouldn't have made it though, not at this point.
No,
it's
and I wouldn't
waiting
have.
on-
I would never have had you drive yourself. But I was like, just hoping that you would agree to book this Spirit flight, which you do. But now we have the issue of your luggage because it is on the American Airlines plane, and you're like, I don't know what to do. And you get in the line.
I couldn't function. My brain was not functioning. I was so tired at this point. But customer service with American Airlines, they were very friendly and very nice. But like, I think they were just trying to appease very angry people. And the person I talked to was like, no problem. I'm going to get your luggage on an earlier flight tomorrow. It's going to end up in Miami. You're going to Fort Lauderdale. Just come on over and go to the baggage pickup and you'll have your stuff. Well, hot tip, guys, put an Apple AirTag in your bag so you can like track to see like where it's at. So the plan was Megan was going to get up in the morning and Uber over to Miami International Airport and pick up my bag for me. And then we would board the ship and get on the Christmas cruise. However, my bag did not make it early as promised.
No, I was like still an optimist because I'm looking at the AirTag and it still shows in Texas. I'm like, maybe it didn't update. I don't know how this technology works. So I go to the airport. Of course, the bag does not come off. Then comes the circus of American and Spirit fighting over who has to start the claim over the baggage. Anyway, I finally get some dude on the phone. He's like, I'll open the claim. Fine. The bag is not going to get here. And here's the best part. The bag wasn't even on the noon flight that you were supposed to go out on. They moved it to a different later flight.
Yeah, it didn't show up in Miami until the evening. I don't even know.
It was a lost cause. So,
guys, it's still in Miami right now.
It's waiting for us.
It's waiting for me at the baggage claim still.
So we got to go shopping.
Oh, yay. Joy. No, that was fine. I mean, it worked out fine. We had enough time between when I arrived into Miami, I met Megan at the hotel, I showered, we left, we went to Nordstrom Rack and we went to Target and I had to buy everything I needed for this trip.
Everything.
Including a new suitcase.
We made it work.
Everything.
And we got on board the ship.
Yes.
And we were both a little delirious. I have to say that in the cruise terminal before boarding, I said to Wendy, I'm like, I'm having to actively like adjust my face to not look mean because I'm so tired. It's just been like the longest day and a half. And I was like, my first impression is just going to be this. And multiple people were like, we saw you in the terminal, but we knew the day you had, and we didn't want to come say hi. And I just can only imagine what they could.
I looked like, I looked real disheveled. Luckily, I had brought an extra set of clothes in my carry-on bag, but like I was not presenting the way that I would have wanted to present.
I hear you.
So it's a little bit embarrassing to hear from multiple people to say like, oh yeah, we saw you in the terminal and didn't come up and say hi.
And we'd love to tell you about the opening night festivities, but we had dinner and were sound asleep by 7 p.m. I mean, out. I went in to wash my face and I come out and Wendy is asleep on top of her covers, makeup on. Like, I don't even know if you changed into pajamas.
I don't remember actually.
We slept 12 hours.
But let's talk about the cruise. Let's talk about our first impressions of the cruise when we first walked on board. What did you see? Tell the listeners.
Well, I actually loved it because you walk into the atrium and the decor, that's like their big money piece decor, I think. There's lots of like Hallmark Christmas Cruise branding. There's giant ornaments. The room is ringed in red and green wreaths. There's a big giant bow arch. Lots of photo ops in that room.
Lots of photo ops. They were playing Christmas music. People were already at the bar that was there. There was a lot of activity. And I will tell you that the way that I felt walking into it, everyone knows I don't love Christmas, but like I felt the joy walking through those doors.
They had
Like
carolers right before we boarded.
everyone was excited to be there. And
Mhm.
I was like hyped. I was like really happy to be finally on board. I think mostly because of the crazy travel day, but like I was like, we're here. We finally made it. We bought these tickets a year and a half ago.
Mhm.
So that was great. That was super fun. It was a great first impression.
And I have the funniest picture because a woman named Denise, who we know, found us and came over and said hello. And there's a picture of Wendy hugging her like her long lost child.
Yeah.
Look on your face is like so ecstatic to be meeting someone.
I felt very like happy that someone who really wanted to meet us was able to meet us and like came up to us and was like,
Girls go home.
"Good homework." And I was like, we were literally 5 minutes on the boat. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God, like what is happening here? It just made me feel so happy.
That was really nice. And that's all I remember. Like we came in, unpacked, had dinner. I don't think we did a single thing.
I honestly can't remember what we did that night. What did we do?
We went to bed at 7 p.m.
Did we come up here? I don't even think I changed clothes. I was so tired. We went and ate.
And then we came back and went to bed.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I know that is not exciting for the first night. We didn't go to the celebration. That's what they have this huge Christmas tree on board. They lit it. This is like when they're like pulling away from the dock and all that stuff with all the celebs and all the people out there. We didn't go. We were eating at that time.
They also changed the time of it because of rain. So it was supposed to be later and it ended up happening while we were at dinner.
Yeah, and I was fine with that. I was so exhausted. I had literally had like maybe 2.5 hours, 3 hours sleep the last 24 hours. So
I think we just needed to restart fresh the next day.
yes, and we did.
And we did. The way the cruise is set up is that the 3 full days, there was a sea day, a port day, and then another sea day. Wednesday was a full sea day. I think we should talk some of our favorite stuff.
Yeah, let's do that.
We tried to make it to a variety of different events, and there's some events that are competing with others. And we definitely missed events because we had opportunities to like hang out with people that we had just met. And that was like more important to us.
Yeah.
One thing absolutely not to miss is the Festive Feud game.
Yeah, it's just like Family Feud, and it's hosted by Jonathan Bennett, and it was freaking hilarious.
And they create their quote families. They're intermixed with cruise guests and Hallmark stars. And the Hall stars really brought their A game. Brendan Penny is a Family Feud aficionado, apparently. He was so funny. They did a great job. I just laughed so hard for an hour. If you've ever been on a cruise, Family Feud's always a big hit on a cruise. But seeing these guys was a highlight.
Yeah, that was super fun today. And the way you watch it is in this huge theater. So there's tons of people around you watching at the same time.
They're all shouting at the stage.
It's very interactive.
Yeah. I think that leads me to another highlight, and that's Jonathan Bennett as host.
So good.
I am very torn on this because he is so good, but the demands on him as host are extreme. I mean, he's here, he's there, he's everywhere. I mean, everywhere we went today, he was everywhere. Like they had 3 hours of photo ops today, and then he went to host Festive Feud straight from there, and then he went up to an event on another. I mean, the man has no voice.
Mm-hmm.
I almost feel like he's so good, but I'm like, maybe he needs a co-host.
He needs somebody. They either need to split some duties. Something. He looked delirious at one point, I thought, today.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine how he's going to do this again in 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
Yeah, maybe they'll recalibrate a little bit. We were in the DMs with Jonathan a little bit, and at one point I was like, today I was like, I don't even know how you're still standing. And he's like, I don't either. But he is an absolute delight. It was such a good choice to have him hosting Hallmark. Please hear that. He really was the best possible choice.
Agree.
What's something else you loved?
We got to see a premiere of a Countdown to Christmas movie that
yeah.
has not aired yet. I think it airs maybe in the next week. It was Jingle Bell Run, which stars Andrew Walker and Ashley Williams.
2 AWs.
2 AWs, you're right.
It comes out this weekend, the 15th.
A couple quick thoughts. A lot of the cruisers were not happy to get this movie prior to seeing it. They anticipated, considering who was on our cruise, we're talking all of the football movie guys.
Yeah, we got Tyler, we have Hunter King, Julie Sherman-Wolf, the writer of that movie, is on board. So there was some speculation that we would get the Chiefs movie, although Hallmark's going to keep that one for the big premiere weekend. If you're not on these cruises, what you need to know is there's been a lot of comparison between Sail 1 and Sail 2, and a lot of people feel like, Sail 2 is getting better stuff, and I just don't think you can get... We're going to talk a lot about, like, the cruise is what you make it, but don't get bogged down in that. Like, have your own experience. I was real neutral when they announced the movie.
Yeah, same, real neutral. And I got to tell you, and we're not going to spoil anything about this movie. It was a great movie.
We shared like a mini review of it. It is 100% genuine. It is, as of this moment, the best movie I've seen all season. I burst into tears at one point in the movie. I got weepy in a couple other points. I laughed out loud. It is so good top to bottom. You guys, it's great. Watch it.
I think it's one of Andrew Walker's best films.
Yeah, I did turn to Wendy at one point in the movie. I was like, is this the best thing Andrew Walker's ever done? And he and Ashley Williams had such amazing chemistry. And there may or may not be another couple in the movie who I really was rooting for. So watch it. Don't skip that one.
Don't skip that movie. So that was a highlight. I really, really super enjoyed the movie. Megan and I did go to Hallmark Trivia. We thought we were going to kill it. We ended up coming in third place.
Yeah, so they had like a Hallmark Trivia that was hosted by Hallmark stars, and then they had like a couple more rounds of Hallmark Trivia just hosted by NCL staff. And the questions were like so obscure.
The execution was not great.
Yeah, it was rough.
It was rough. And you're right. The questions were so obscure. I'm sorry, I don't remember Joe Smith's job in a movie from 4 years ago.
Yeah, or like a very specific line from a movie. I'm like, I could tell you who wrote that movie. I could tell you who directed it. I could tell you the sexy Santa suit he wore in it, but I don't know what you're talking about.
That wasn't super fun. I wish there were more interactive games like that for people on the cruise.
Agree. I have some wishes about,
We're going to get, if you haven't noticed, guys, we're doing this a little bit like how we would do our movies. We're talking about all the things we liked, and then we'll get to the wishes.
One of my very favorite things is we went to the silent disco. And if y'all know me, I do not dance. I am not fun. And I had the best time.
It was a highlight. I need more silent disco in my life.
It was so fun. I thought, look, I'm never going to see these people again in my entire life. Everyone was wearing ugly Christmas sweaters because it was ugly Christmas sweater party night.
Mm-hmm.
If you've never been to a silent disco, when you walk in, they hand you headphones, and there are 3 DJs, and your headphones have 3 channels on them, and you can switch the channel on your headphones to hear what each DJ is playing. And the idea is like each DJ is kind of battling to get you over to their channel.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's fun because you'll hear the audience, like not the audience, you'll hear the crowd like get hyped about something, and you look around and you can kind of see.
Yeah,
like
everybody's got red right now.
Yeah, switch. And it's great for me as a person who has ADHD because I'm like, I get bored. So I'm like, I don't need to hear 3 minutes of this song unless I'm really into it. So you can switch around a lot. We danced and we sang. And the best part is that when everyone's singing at the top of their lungs, you take your headphones off and all you can hear are people singing off key because there's no background music because it's all in their headphones. It's amazing.
It's so funny. It is the funniest thing ever. And I would not have known that unless we met this woman on the elevator ride up to where the silent disco was. And she was like, oh, you got to take your headphones off during the disco and hear everybody singing in the worst pitch ever.
The worst.
It was great. It was so great.
The only thing I wish they were open later. They were like, don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Bye bye.
12 o'clock, bye guys. We're like, okay. Yeah, I could have gone for another hour
Me
I thought,
too.
that night. And I think they did it every single night of the cruise, but
we never made it back.
I'm tired, dude. In my mind, I was like, hell yeah, I'm going back the next night. But I was like, no, when that night actually came, I was like, I can't. I'm so tired.
No, but we've been, other than obviously the first night, we've been out late. Every night.
I know.
Yeah. Another highlight. So this cruise did not have meet and greets. And that was a point of contention, and we could talk about it. But what they did is every cabin group got to take a group photo with the Hallmark stars. You had an assigned time to go. And it was like a real cattle call. Like they bring you in, you take your photo, you leave. It's not an interactive moment. But quite a few of the stars either were walking around the ship or like after events, they would try and make themselves available for photos. And one day we're walking into the buffet and out walks Christopher Palaha.
Just standing there.
He did make a comment in one of the events today. He was like, I've tried really hard to like meet as many people as I possibly can. And I think that's accurate. I think he really was trying to be like a man of the people.
Yeah. That was a real fun surprise to just walk around the corner and see him standing there, and he wasn't being mobbed. There was like 2 or 3 other people taking a photo with him.
Yeah.
And we waited patiently and got our photo with him, and he was very nice and complimentary, and then we went on our way, and it was great.
Yeah.
He was the only one I saw out in the wild.
Just walking around like that, not at an event. Me too.
I never saw anyone else, with the exception of Jonathan Bennett's husband was kind of all over the place. We saw him in a restaurant
Yeah, he
today.
was sitting right near us at lunch.
But for me personally, it was fine. Like yes, it was a highlight to like stumble upon somebody. Came in with such low expectations. I knew there was going to be very limited access to the celebrities. And so I don't feel disappointed that we didn't like get to meet anybody.
I don't either. Some people, I think, set themselves up for disappointment in spite of it being very clearly stated that that was not going to be an option. I think some people booked this cruise feeling like they were going to have, like, I'm on a boat, I'm going to have unlimited access to these people. The stars are on the 14th floor. They have their own elevator that is manned by security that only is available to them. They have rooms that are separate from everybody. They have a restaurant separate from everybody. I believe they may even have a pool up there that is separate from everybody. And I don't say that to dog on them. Like, what happens when they are out among the public is they are swarmed.
It's a bomb show. It's awful. It's going to be in our wishes, guys.
Yeah,
just wait for it.
If you would run into like Tyler or Jonathan or Christopher or Ashley, just like, on the stairs in the buffet, they were very gracious and took photos with people. And that was really cool. But that was our one and only in the wild experience.
That was it. And while we're like finishing the evening here and looking back, am I disappointed about it? Really? Do I wish there could have been an organized meet and greet? Yes.
I know. I agree. But in my mind, I'm like, I don't know how you do it. Logistically.
There's not enough hours. There's too many people here. There's not enough Hallmark stars.
Yeah, I feel like the only way to do it is to be like, well, every person gets a meet and greet and it's by lottery and you don't get to pick who it's with.
Yeah, can you imagine how people would be so upset? Because
everybody wants to meet Tyler.
Everybody's here to meet Tyler. That's really what it comes down to.
And there are so many lovely people on this ship. Julie Sherman Wolf had written basically like skit for the actors to do impromptu on stage, and Ashley Williams was the lead actress in that, and she was so damn charming,
so good.
Like, y'all get excited about these people. I was like, I wish we could have run into BJ Britt. He looked so fun.
100%. I am emailing him as soon as we get home
to get him on the podcast.
I want him on the podcast.
Yeah, it stresses me out thinking about the meet and greets because there is no way that Tyler can meet every single person on this ship in a meet and greet situation. It's not possible unless it's like 5 days of Tyler just sitting in a room meeting people. That's all he would be able to do. And then you've got people who are going to get someone who's not Tyler and they're going to be like grumpy about it.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes me feel so like sad for these celebrities who are so fun and interesting,
Mm-hmm.
who just have the disadvantage of being not Tyler.
Right. I agree. I don't know. There's not a perfect solution to this situation. I am very curious to see how they're going to make changes on Sail 2.
Yeah. And if they do.
And if they do.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think some lessons were learned. Is there anything else you super loved about the trip? We got to meet some really cool people. I loved meeting like Girls Gone Hallmark listeners.
Yeah. Shout out Jackie and Jennifer. We hung out with them quite a bit.
Yeah, they were really fun. We met Cheryl.
Yes, we kept running into Cheryl quite a bit too.
I loved that.
That was super fun.
Anything else?
I enjoyed the stocking gift exchange situation. Just coming back to our room and like seeing that people had put little trinkets in our stocking that was hanging on the door. I just thought that was fun.
It was fun. So there were some self-organized gift exchanges happening on board, and there was a Deck 11 stocking exchange. So we just decorated our door and hung stockings on them, and we weren't officially participating in the stocking exchange. There was an official list of everyone who was on it. We were not participating, but a few people just dropped fun little things. That was fun
Yeah.
to come back to your room and you've got a cute little trinket.
And then we dropped our cute little things. We had stickers made specifically for this cruise that had like our Instagram on it. And it was a cute little
It was a
specific-
very cute sticker.
specific to the cruise. I really liked it. So we tried to put them in as many stockings as we could and help spread the Girls Gone Hallmark word.
Yeah, it was really cute. That was fun.
And there are also, and I don't want to, you could probably look on Instagram and find it. I don't want to spoil it here, but it's nice to come back to your room and be treated with a little swag from Hallmark.
Yes. Everybody got a few swag drops in there.
Yeah, that was fun.
Mm-hmm.
That was a nice little surprise.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready to move on to the wishes?
Yeah. This is more like we've been deep in the Facebook group. And I think people are going to find a way to make this trip what they want to make it. I think some people are finding ways to complain about the trip. Like that's their goal.
What Megan's trying to say is there are a lot of people who are very unhappy about a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I think their expectations were too high. For example,
Yeah.
tonight, the closing night, it was supposed to be a ball. They wanted everybody to dress up. You met on the pool deck. And the pool is covered and there's a big stage out there. And the Hallmark stars were out there. They were all dressed up. All the crowd, a majority of the crowd was very dressed up. And we came in just a little bit late because we were having dinner, but it was a nice little send off. It was like all the Hallmark stars were out there. They were like thanking everybody for coming. Jonathan Bennett's husband, James, is a singer who is dropping an album later this week. And he sang some Christmas songs. It was beautiful. And then they said, good night. And this band comes out and, you know, you can dance the night away for the next couple hours, I guess. Well, people are pissed because they anticipated or expected the Hallmark stars to be out in the crowd doing the dirty dancing, lip-syncing Tyler up into or vice versa. It was not going to happen because these celebrities were getting mobbed on this boat. They were not going to be out in the crowd dancing the night away.
No, someone said like, oh, I wish they were dancing with everybody. That's not possible. That would not be possible for them to just be cool and be dancing in the crowd. We saw a lot of behavior on this boat that suggested it wouldn't work. Also, the stars are not here to fulfill like your personal romantic fantasy that you have about them. Like people are like, oh, I wanted my Hallmark movie moment. I get that. I'm so sorry, but it's not going to be with Tyler Hines.
No, it's not going to happen.
Find your person. But Tyler is not going to have like a look into your eyes moment with 22 100 members board. What do we call the people on this ship? I can't find the word. Passengers.
Oh, God.
Clearly, your expectations did not align with what was going to happen here. What this cruise was meant to be was like, are there stars? Yeah. Are they going to be on stage leading events? Uh-huh. Are you going to get to listen to them talk and play games and do all of these things and maybe run into them on board ship? Yeah, probably. Are they going to create a personalized experience for each passenger on the boat? They're not.
No. Nope. And that's what people are pissed about. And it's crazy to me
Yes.
to think that that was the expectation.
Look, Wendy and I had a good time because we had a good time.
Yeah.
We made our own fun. We're like, we're going to have a good time. We're going to go dance on this island disco. We're going to go. Dude, do I wish that we became close personal friends and we were like partying on the 14th floor? Of course I do. Is that reality?
Nope.
As mentioned, there are no meet and greets. And many people were very upset about that.
Mm-hmm.
But after the events, a lot of the stars would stick around and take selfies with people or sign autographs. And of course, Tyler is the most mobbed. But last night after the event, Brendan was out, Hunter was out, Heather was out. It's hard to see. Maybe others were out. But we happened to happen upon the Tyler crush. And I was like, I want a selfie with Tyler.
Yeah, we were walking back to our room, actually, and just happened upon him standing there taking selfies
with a crowd of people. And I just, if you're on sale too, I just want you to hear me. You have an opportunity to do a really cool thing. There's no organization, and I do think when these impromptu moments happen, there is security there. The security should be organizing people into a line because people are just crushing in on Tyler and they're grabbing him, grabbing his clothes, touching him, shoving their phone in his face.
Somebody said that they kissed him.
That's not okay. All to try and get your photo moment. Now, Tyler said, I will stay until everyone gets their photo. Tyler has been incredibly generous with his time. He did this multiple times. If you wanted a photo with Tyler on this trip, it was very easy to find a way to get one. Very possible to find a way to get one. Yes. He said, I'll get to everybody. Just be cool. I ended up getting towards the front of the group, and because I refused to be the person who was going to physically grab him to get his attention.
I would never, ever, ever recommend for you to grab him.
No, I just was going to stand there and wait until it became my turn. And I got my turn. I took a photo and I walked away. And I said, y'all need to chill.
Now, I'm not in the photo.
Because Wendy was,
I was so disappointed with the people around me who were pushing me from behind so they could get to Tyler. And I'm talking people who are 70 years and older, probably, like elbowing their way through. Like, I could not believe the behavior of some people on this boat.
It was a lot.
And I just was like, I'm out. I'm sorry. I'm not going to put that much value on an actor. I'm just not doing it. I'm not doing it.
But in that moment, it wasn't even putting value on the actor. It was just such a sense of like, this was your moment and they were entitled to get what they wanted.
Yeah.
And I just think it kind of ruins it for everybody because that was not something that was promised. That was not something that anybody was due being on this ship. And so they're giving their time to be there and it's going to make them not want to do it.
Totally. Would they sign up for another cruise next year to do it? I don't know.
But other wishes. Six Man is the company that put this cruise on. We have heard that it was a little bit different, that Hallmark did a lot of the programming and Six Man kind of handled the logistics. I'm super curious because Six Man does a ton of these like celebrity style cruises. And themed cruises. And I'm really curious about like the level of programming involved during the day, because if you came on this cruise expecting to be fully entertained 24 hours a day, you're going to be sorely disappointed.
There's not enough stuff to do.
There is, and beyond that, we had enough stuff to do. Like, we were plenty busy.
Well, I like downtime too. So like, I'm totally fine. Like,
I like
just chilling.
I like downtime too. And I didn't feel like we had to like be up at the crack of dawn to get everything done that we wanted to get done. There isn't enough to do. And part of the problem is like everybody wants to do everything. So every event is packed. People are lining up hours
guys,
before events to get in.
If you're on sale too, expect to line up hours before any event.
And that's just not how I want to spend my time. I don't want to spend my time standing in line for 2 hours outside of a theater to get into a panel discussion.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in a crush of people decorating cookies or decorating ornornaments or making beaded bracelets. I don't want to fight for space to do that.
I don't want to either. So all those things that I was looking forward to, like I was looking forward to doing like cookie decorating, I don't know, whatever, trivia or whatever. I don't want to fight with people. Like, I'm like, what? Okay, fine. I'll just pass on this. It's fine. So that's kind of disappointing to me.
And I did see them add a few additional activities throughout the week to the schedule. And I think they realized that. And perhaps they will beef up the schedule for sale too to allow for that so that, more people have access to more events. But I do think there is not quite enough to do with the number of people on this ship.
Yes.
I think my final thought is that if you are looking for a Hallmark themed vacation, that is what you're going to get. If you're looking for personal interactions on a day-to-day basis with Hallmark celebrities, that is not the vacation you're going to get.
No, I think you are better off going to one of the like conventions or meet and greet or wherever where you are paying for their time, and then you can have that personal exchange with them. This was not it
for that experience.
I'm
glad we had the experience. I'm glad we know firsthand what it's like. I had a good time just like being on a solo vacation. So for me, it was worth it.
I thought it was worth it too. I enjoyed spending time with you. I enjoyed meeting the people we met. I enjoyed the events that we got to go to and participate in.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's the kind of vacation you take year after year after year. As a Hallmark content creator, could I see coming back in that regard? Yes. That's going to wrap up our cruise tell-all episode.
Gotta go to bed. We got an early flight tomorrow.
It is 12:20 a.m. Thanks for listening. We'll be back with reviews. Goodbye.
Bye.
All right, friends, before we go, just a quick heads up. You're about to hear some ads. These little gems help us keep the show running and the Hallmark love flowing. So do with that info what you will. Grab a snack, hit the skip button, or maybe, just maybe, listen in and discover your new favorite product. Bye.